Hello folks, my name is Mike Cannon, part of the Avaya Serviceability Engineering Group, and today we're going to do a short video on installing a Communication Manager 5.2.1 Service Pack. Communication Manager Service Packs. The current Service Pack installation method was introduced with Communication Manager 4.0. Previous releases required you to log into Linux Shell and unpack and activate the Service Pack via CLI. Security Service Packs were introduced with Communication Manager 4.0. And kernel service packs were introduced for and with Communication Manager 5.2.1. We will not go over either of those service packs during this video. The HP DL360G7 server on Communication Manager 5.2.1 requires Service Pack 6 or greater for it to be recognized as an HP DL360G7. Service Pack 10 or greater is required for an alarm fix or a RAID status fix that deals with the change in the HP configuration from a RAID 5 to a RAID 1 setup. Simplex servers will have service interruption. Basically, it requires a reset system 4 for the service pack to take. Communication Manager 6X and greater on system platform. The loading of the service pack is done via the system platform CDOM, and we will not go over that process during this video. Service packs per release are listed on support.avaya.com. As you can see, we're logged into the Linux shell. We're logged in as Craft. I generally like to start in the Linux shell because the remote engineer, there's a familiarity with it and a little faster once you know the Linux commands. So first we're going to type in SW version. And it tells me we're at release 15, 02.1.016.4. So that's 5.2.1. So that's the right release for the service pack we have. It's build 16.4. Down below I see I have one update. I have update 19191, and that's Service Pack 10. We have Service Pack 11, which is 19308 on our laptop. And the only other service pack I see here, I have some remote field updates under messaging. So this customer is obviously doing messaging. And the last thing I like to do before I get out of Linux shell is check my processes. So I'm going to type in stat app. And all my processes are up and running. We're now ready to log into the web pages and put on a service pack. We're in the Communication Manager web pages, logged in as Craft. We enter the Craft password. We say yes to suppress alarm origination. We're in the SMI splash page. We go up to Administration and we select Server Maintenance. We scroll down to the bottom and we select Download Files. We check the radio button files to download from the machine I'm using to connect to the server. We're going to click Browse and browse to the folder where our service pack is. Highlight it and click Open. Scroll to the bottom and select Download. And as you can see, the download was successful. So the service pack's on the server. We scroll up to Server Upgrades and Manage Updates. As you can see, we have two service packs, 19191, which is activated, that's Service Pack 10, and 19308, which is packed, and that's Service Pack 11. We're going to highlight that radio button for 19308, and then we're going to unpack it. And it goes through the unpacking process. This is pretty quick. Command completed successfully. We scroll down to the bottom, and we click Continue. At that point, we now have 19191, which is activated, and 19308, which is unpacked. I cannot put 19308 on top of 19191, so I'm going to have to deactivate Service Pack 10 first. So I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to click Deactivate. And you get a warning. Deactivation of update 19191 might cause a restart. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. And as you can see, stopping the server, so it does cause a restart. So basically we're in a stopping server mode for about 2 minutes. And then we go into a restoring links mode. We're in that minute and a half or so. So roughly in about 3.5 minutes or so, we get the command completed successfully. So we're in pretty good shape. Next we're going to scroll down to the bottom. And we'll click Continue. And now you can see we have both 191 191 and 19308 unpacked. But before I activate 19308 Service Pack 11, I need to check my process stats. We're going to go to Process Status under Server. I could get the same information in Linux typing in stat app. So Process Status. And that brings me to Display Once, which is fine the first time. So we're going to click View. And you can see all my processes are up but messaging, which makes sense. Messaging is always a couple minutes later than the other processes. It's critical you do this, especially if you're loading a bunch of service packs. So you have a security service pack and a kernel service pack. You want to make sure all your processes that you had up prior to are up and running before you load a service pack or the second service pack. So what we're going to do next is go back to Process Status. And we're going to select Refresh Page every 5 seconds. And we're going to click View. And as you can see, messaging is still down. This will repeat every 5 seconds. So we'll get a better, clearer picture of when it comes up. And messaging now is up. So about the 4th time, all my processes are up. Now we're going to click Manage Updates. Now we move up to the radio button for 19308 or Service Pack 11. We highlight that and we're going to activate the service pack. Warning, activation might cause a restart. Do you want to continue? Yes, we do. And it's stopping the server, so obviously it's causing a restart. We'll be in a stopping server mode for about 2 minutes. And then the setting up links comes up, and we're in that mode for about 3 minutes. And then a little over 5 minutes, we'll get the command completed successfully for the activation of Service Pack 11. So now we'll scroll to the bottom, and we'll click Continue. At this point, you have Service Pack 11 activated and Service Pack 10 unpacked. This is where you want to run your tests to make sure everything's okay with the service pack, etc. I generally leave that in there at least a week, but you do want to schedule a removal of Service Pack 10 only because it takes up space and it can cause confusion. Next step will be to log in the Linux shell and run some base checks. I left my login to Linux up, so what we're going to do now is we're going to rerun the stat app command in Linux. So stat app, and again all of my processes are now up. Messaging is up, and this is about 8 minutes after, which is about right because messaging takes usually about 2 to 3 minutes more than the other processes. Next we're going to rerun SW version. And again, you see 19308 is activated, and that's what we want to see, and 19191 is unpacked. Again, this is when you run your tests. Critical you run your test that you run after any service pack. Eventually, you want to schedule the removal of 19191. So again, we successfully installed a Communication Manager 5.2.1 service pack. Thank you for your time today. We hope this information was useful. We welcome comments, questions, and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. Again, thank you for choosing Avaya.